then there is no change in state of the rotational motion. Okay, so the property of the object which resists the change in state of rotational motion is what is called as your moment of inertia. Okay, this is called as moment of inertia. Clear? So it is the property by which it opposes the torque tending to change its state of rotational motion. It is the property by virtue of which it is the property by virtue of which it opposes the torque. It opposes the torque okay, it opposes the torque tending to change its state of rest or uniform rotational motion. Tending to change its state of rest, uniform rotational motion. Okay, so this is the property of the object. Okay, now this is your qualitative definition. Quantitatively, it has one more definition. So that is your the moment of inertia of a rigid body. Okay, about a fixed axis, maybe something like this. Body is there about a fixed axis. So moment of inertia of a rigid body about a fixed axis is defined as the sum of the product of mass of individual particles. Okay, maybe I can divide this whole body into small particles, n number of particles. Okay, so you take a single particle here, maybe call it first particle, ith particle maybe. Okay, now the moment of inertia of this whole body is defined as the sum of that is product of mass of this individual particle and square of the distance of this particle from the axis of rotation. Okay, and square of the distance of the particle from the axis of rotation. Let me write this. The moment of inertia of a rigid body. Yeah, I'll give the mathematical expression, that will be easier. Of a rigid body, moment of inertia of a rigid body about a fixed axis. Fixed axis is defined as fixed axis is defined as the sum of product of sum of whose sum of the product of
mass and square of
yes, masses of the particles. Okay, we are considering individual particles. Okay, masses of, I think it is visible to you. Yes, masses of the particles okay, masses of the particles and the square of the distance, masses of the particles constituting the body and constituting the body and constituting the body and square of the distance, square of their respective distances from the axis of rotation, square of their respective distances from axis of rotation. Okay, now let us see this mathematically. Suppose this is the axis of rotation and this is a rigid body, something like this. Now let us say here is one particle. Okay, ith particle. We have n number of particles. The body is made up of n number of particles. Okay, so we are looking at one particle, which is maybe at a distance of let us say r, okay, or ri. Ri is the distance of the particle from the axis, and mass of this particle is mi, something like this. Okay, so it is clear. Maybe picture is not clear. There is a particle, okay, having mass mi, and the distance is ri from the axis of rotation. Okay, similarly we have other particles. Okay, first particle m1 at a distance r1, second particle m2 at a distance r2, third particle m3 at a distance r3, and so on likewise. Okay, so in this case, what will be the center of mass according to our second definition? Not second, moment of inertia according to our second definition. Okay, so let us consider a rigid body. Okay, consisting of n particles of masses m1, m2, m3, and so on, mn. Okay, and situated at a distance situated at distances maybe like r1, r2, r1, r2, r3, and so on. Okay, so this is the case. A rigid body is there. Okay, axis of rotation, and this is m1, distance is r1, maybe here m2, distance is r2, something like this. Okay, this kind of situation is there. Let us say it is not on the plane. If it is on the plane, means you can even make it like this. Okay, so this is the thing. Then the moment of inertia of the body is given by about this axis, which is rotating with let us say angular velocity omega. Okay, so the moment of inertia of the body, moment of inertia of the body, okay, is, yeah, then how can I write the moment of inertia of the body? So that is given by the symbol I, capital I, which is equal to, the definition was the sum of the product of masses like m1 and square of the distance from the axis of rotation. m1 r1 square for the first particle, m2 r2 square for the second particle, m3 r3 square from the third particle, and so on. Okay, mn rn square. So it can be represented by using the summation symbol. Okay, so summation of mi ri square I from 1 to n. Okay, I from 1 to n. So this is how we are representing the moment of inertia in the mathematical form. Okay, so moment of inertia is equal to summation of mi ri square, where I ranges from 1 to n. Okay, this is the expression for your moment of inertia. Clear? Now, moment of inertia, as we have seen here, mi square. Okay, so from this expression itself, we can find what is the unit and what is the dimension of the moment of inertia. So unit of moment of inertia. Yeah, what will be the unit of moment of inertia? Yes, somebody is. Yes, kg meter square. Okay, m means mass, so its unit is kg, and r square. R is the distance, so it is meter square. Kg meter square. Okay, and dimension of moment of inertia. Yeah, what is the dimension of moment of inertia? M we have 1, length we have 2, and time 0. Okay, so M L2 T0, M1 L2 T0. Okay, 1 I am not writing. You can write 1 also, no problem. Okay, so this is about your moment of inertia. So moment of inertia, what is its physical significance? We'll discuss. Physical significance of moment of inertia. So it is just like mass. Okay, whenever force is applied, then whatever role mass plays, in the same way, whenever torque is applied, moment of inertia plays the same role. Okay, so just like mass, when force is applied, it resists the change in its state. Okay, originally state of rest means finally it will try to stay in the state of rest only. Similarly, originally state of uniform motion means it will try to stay in the state of uniform motion. Okay, so we need force. Force is being applied, then only its state will change. Okay, in the same way, if a body is at rest, then its moment of inertia is the property which resists the change in its state of rest. Similarly, if the body is rotating uniformly about any axis, okay, uniform rotation is there, then it will try to stay in the same state of rotation unless some external torque is applied. Okay, so force plays the role, torque plays the role that is same as force, and moment of inertia plays the role that is same as mass. Okay, and you can even use all the Newton's laws, even equations of motion here without any problem. Please. Yeah, now moment of inertia depends upon so many things. It not only depends upon mass, it also depends upon the distance of the mass or masses of the particles from the axis of rotation. It also depends on the orientation of the object. Okay, so let us see what are the factors on which moment of inertia depends. Okay, the moment of inertia of a body depends on basically 3-4 factors. The moment of inertia of a body depends on, okay, first is obviously mass of the object. Okay, heavier object means it is difficult to rotate a heavier object than to rotate small size, that is less mass object with less mass, correct? So mass of the body or mass of the object is the first factor on which moment of inertia depends. Okay, if mass is more, then it is difficult to rotate or change the state of rotation. Okay, initially rest maybe, or initially rotating with some kind of uniform motion. Okay, then changing the state is difficult. Okay, so this is the first factor on which moment of inertia depends. Second is size and shape of the object. Size and shape of the object. Size and shape of the object. So how it depends upon size and shape as we have seen, it depends upon M and R both. Okay, for a given particle in the object, it depends upon M and R. For example, here this is the axis of rotation. Okay, this particle has mass M and at a distance R, and here this particle has mass same M only at a distance 2R. So their moment of inertia of individual particles are different. Okay, so the size also matters, because if size changes, then particles are now at different places. Okay, initially suppose size is spherical one, then moment of inertia is different. Same mass, size is like this, then moment of inertia is different. Okay, because this R also changes. When the size change, then R also changes. Clear? So that's why moment of inertia also changes. So moment of inertia depends not only on the mass, but the size as well. Okay, because it depends upon R, the distance of the individual particles. So as the size changes, the R, that is distance of the particles, change, and hence the moment of inertia also changes. Clear? Next, distribution of mass about the axis of rotation. This is also one more factor. Distribution of mass about axis of rotation. Distribution of mass about axis of rotation. Yeah. So moment of inertia also depends upon the mass distribution, how the mass is distributed. Okay, for example, this is the object, and suppose this portion is more dense compared to this portion, then moment of inertia is different when the distribution is uniform. Clear? It is obviously clear. You can take one example, okay, where one part of the object is heavier, then it takes different amount of torque, different amount of energy you need to rotate it, compared to when the mass is distributed uniformly throughout the object. Okay, so how the mass is distributed throughout the object, that is also one more factor on which moment of inertia depends. Okay, so if mass distribution is uniform, then we have different moment of inertia, even if the size is same, total mass of the object is same. Okay, if mass is distributed evenly or unevenly, then we have different moment of inertia, okay, about a given axis. Then last factor, that is position and orientation of the axis of rotation with respect to the body. Fourth one is position and orientation of the axis of rotation. Okay, with respect to body, because we may change the rotation of the body itself. So with respect to body, that means if this is the axis of rotation, yes, if this is the axis of rotation, whatever moment of inertia we have now for this object will be different if I change this axis of rotation here. Okay, when the axis of the position of the axis of rotation changes, then moment of inertia may change. It's not that it will change. Whose mic is this?
Some technical issue is there, so wait.
Whose mic is this? Whose mic is this? Who has switched on his mic? Students, keep your mic off and concentrate here in the class. Not fighting with your brothers and sisters. Okay, so if I change the position of the axis, then the moment of inertia of the body changes. Okay, so moment of inertia of the body about this axis, maybe I'll call it axis 1, is different when I change the axis, that is axis 2. Moment of inertia of the body about axis 2 is different from moment of inertia about axis 1. Okay, position as well as orientation. Maybe now this is vertical axis. If I make one horizontal axis for the same object, this is my axis now. Okay, then I may call it as axis 3, third axis of rotation. Then moment of inertia of the same object about this axis will be again different from the original one. Clear? So moment of inertia depends upon position and orientation of the axis as well. If I change the position or orientation horizontal to vertical, or maybe inclined to some angle, then moment of inertia of the object about that axis will be different from the other one. Okay, so these are the factors on which moment of inertia of the object depends. Okay, now let us see the relation between rotational kinetic energy and moment of inertia. Rotational kinetic energy and moment of inertia. So just like your kinetic energy and inertia in the sense mass, I am talking about mass. Inertia depends upon mass. So how this kinetic energy depends upon mass, that we already know. Kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. Okay, half mv square. In the same way, how this kinetic energy of the rotating body depends upon the moment of inertia, let us see that. So relation between rotational kinetic energy and moment of inertia. Relation between rotational kinetic energy and moment of inertia. Okay, so let us say we have one object with maybe total mass capital M and having n number of particles with small particles with masses m1, m2, m3 and so on. Okay, so for that one situated at a distance r1, r2 like this, and the whole object is maybe rotating with angular velocity omega. Okay, let us say an object is rotating with angular velocity omega and it is having n number of particles with masses m1, m2 and so on, and each of them having distances from the axis of rotation r1, r2 and so on. Okay, let an object is rotating about an axis with angular velocity omega. It is rotating about about the axis with angular velocity omega and constituting it constitutes particles, n number of particles with masses. Let us take m1, m2 and so on. m1, m2, m3, mn situated at a distances r1, r2, r3 and so on. Okay, then moment of inertia of this whole body. What will be the moment of inertia of this whole body? Let us see. Okay, now before moment of inertia, let us take one particle here, this particle, first one. It is at a distance r1 and it is rotating with the that is the angular velocity omega 1. Okay, therefore velocities of the particle, linear velocity. Okay, velocities of particles, that is m1, m2, m3, all these particles will be how much? v1 is equal to, yeah, how can I write? v1 is equal to
R1
r1
omega.
omega. Okay, as we know, velocity, the linear velocity is equal to angular velocity multiplied by the distance from the axis of rotation. So it is r1 omega. Similarly, v2 is equal to r2 omega, and so on. Vn is equal to rn omega. Clear? So these are the linear velocities. Then these individual particles with the linear velocities v1, v2, vn, all these things having masses m1, m2, mn, their individual kinetic energies. Okay, so kinetic energies of these particles, okay, let us say first particle. Then for first particle it will be half m1 v1 square. Second particle it will be half m2 v2 square, and so on. Okay, so the kinetic energy of whole body, the kinetic energy, let me write for whole body only, of the body will be equal to kinetic energies of individual particles. Okay, whole body का जितना kinetic energy है, that is nothing but sum of kinetic energies of individual particles. Okay, so that can be written as half m1 v1 square, half m2 v2 square, and so on, half mn vn square. Individual particles we have with masses m1, m2, and so on, with velocities v1, v2, and so on. So therefore, the total kinetic energy will be kinetic energies of individual particles. This is the thing. Now let us replace this v1 with this formula, this expression. So that is equal to half m1, and instead of v1 square, let me write r1 omega square plus half m2 r2 omega square, and so on, half mn rn omega square. Okay, now let us continue with this expression. Yeah, then this can be expanded like this, that is equal to half m1 r1 square omega square, half m2 r2 square omega square, and so on, half mn rn square omega square. Now we have common omega square here, so let us take omega, half also is common, so half omega square common if I take, then inside I have now m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square, and so on, mn rn square. Now what is this thing inside? We have something that is inside m1 r1 square plus m2 r2 square, and so on. That is nothing but the moment of inertia of the whole object. Okay, so that is moment of inertia of the whole object, which is I. So half omega square into I, or I can write half I omega square. When the object is rotating with angular velocity omega and its total moment of inertia, its moment of inertia is about the particular axis, given axis is I, then its kinetic energy is half I omega square. Now see, this expression is very similar to expression for kinetic energy in case of your linear motion. Okay, see, kinetic energy half is there. Instead of mass, we have now moment of inertia in case of rotational motion. Okay, mass in case of linear motion, I, that is moment of inertia in case of rotational motion. Then linear velocity, angular velocity. Okay, they are related to each other. Related to each other in the sense they are analogous to each other. You can see moment of inertia is analogous to your mass, angular velocity is analogous to your linear velocity in the formula for your kinetic energy. Clear? Okay, so this is the expression for your kinetic energy. Yeah. Now, if omega is equal to 1, this is also given. If omega is equal to 1, then we have I is equal to 2 into rotational kinetic energy. This also, you see, if omega is equal to 1. Okay, if angular velocity has only one unit, if angular velocity is equal to 1, okay, whatever is the unit, then what can you say about kinetic energy and moment of inertia, how they are related? So if omega is equal to 1, then kinetic energy is equal to half I into 1 square. Okay, so that is equal to half I, or I can write this as I is equal to, see, only these two, I is equal to 2 times KE. This is also you can use as a defining term or defining method for your moment of inertia. So what we can say, when the angular velocity is 1, then moment of inertia of that object is equal to twice its kinetic energy. The magnitude of moment of inertia is equal to twice its kinetic energy. Okay, this also you can write. The moment of inertia of a rigid body about an axis of rotation is numerically equal to, okay, magnitude wise it is equal to twice the rotational kinetic energy of the body when it is rotating with the unit angular velocity. When it is rotating with the unit angular velocity. Clear? Let me write here itself. Yeah, so what it says, the moment of inertia of a rigid body, the moment of inertia of a rigid body about an axis, okay, of a rigid body about an axis of rotation is numerically equal to, yes, numerically means magnitude is equal to, units are obviously different, energy has different unit than your inertia, okay. So numerically equal to twice the rotational kinetic energy of the body, twice the rotational kinetic energy of the body, rotational kinetic energy of the body, okay, is equal to twice the rotational kinetic energy of the body when it is rotating with unit angular velocity, when it is rotating with unit angular velocity about same axis, okay, whatever axis we are talking about. So this is the thing, this is also one more way to define moment of inertia, you can say. Okay, moment of inertia of the body is defined as 2 times the rotational kinetic energy when the angular velocity is 1 unit. Clear? So this is one more definition. So this is about your moment of inertia. Okay, how to find moment of inertia for different shapes, different objects with different masses. We will see 1 or 2 examples in the next class. And theorem for your parallel axis and perpendicular axis. It is not there, it is deleted from the syllabus. Still, we will have some idea related to this. Okay, next class we will see all these things. Okay, students. So for today, this much only.
Thank you, sir.
Section B. Yeah, section B students.